Hello, water signs. Welcome to the Power of Three and 2026. This is your general monthly reading for the element of water. So if you're a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio, hopefully there's a message here for you. January 2025. We have a lot of all animal and forest decks here because animals have to survive in these elements, and the energy that we're dealing with not necessarily, it might not be snowing where you're at, uh, but you might feel frozen out, emotionally. Things not the same in a situation. Maybe just the circumstances, wondering if you have to make an executive decision and you move on, like animals do. When they know they can't handle the life somewhere, they migrate somewhere else, or they, you know, whatever. So that's what we're looking at this month. And I have also the Divine Masculine, little Buddha Wisdom, the Divine Masculine deck here to give you a little bonus on the overall energy. So, what do we have here to get going for January 2026? Be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. Might be a stay put energy. We'll see. We will see. Either way, an executive decision to stay or go, right? This is the animal spirit oracle. So let's see what comes out for an overall energy for the water signs. I mean, the nice thing about this card is the smiles on the faces, like there is comfort there, wherever that is. Even if it's like it is in the background, it's maybe home. For Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, January 2026, what is the overall energy for them this month? It's way too much. You got bee spirit, sweet results await. See, I told you there was something about those smiling faces. In the be of good comfort, your faith has made you whole. Um, you know, with the bee energy, bees are always busy, right? And maybe you're used to this kind of weather and you actually thrive in it because you've built your entire existence around striving and thriving in cold and a lot of snow and kind of thing. For whatever reason, um, this is the animal tarot, animal spirit tarot. I can't remember what this one's called. Boxes. I haven't seen the box in ages. Supporting energy. Let's see what comes out to support this. It's obviously it's going to be a little different for everybody, but um, obviously it's about working hard. Sweet results await, right? Um, so however that may resonate with you, if at all. Let's see what we got here. The dragon. That's kind of like the eye of the tiger, the eye of God kind of thing. Like it's like the all-seeing eye. Um, be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. Mm. Dragons can't survive in any sort of, uh, um, they have to be under certain conditions, right? Um, I honestly, I mean, it's a very good energy. It's a very busy energy. It's a very, it's almost like this dragon energy is like you having to prepare. Maybe you live off grid. I know what I'm more and more getting. Like it's like you have to prepare for all the elements and in the good times when it's like spring and fall where the weather's maybe not such an issue, maybe you're harvesting your food and that kind of thing, so you're always busy 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 busy. a very busy bee spirit. Comes out of this divine masculine deck for just a little extra bonus advice because it requires that. Whether it's you making a decision in your masculine energy, because we all have yin and yang within it, or if it's done with a couple, um, and the feminine saying, well, you make the final decision because I don't really know what to do, or I've had my piece and I don't, you know what I mean? Like, let's see, lest your wishes become desire enslaved you. Mm. We could also have somebody here that maybe when you're working so hard to get the results, whatever those may be, okay, whatever that is for you, maybe it's never enough, or you're dealing with somebody that it's never enough, which makes this make more sense now. Be of good comfort. Your faith has made you whole. Maybe you're dealing with somebody that's constantly striving for more because it's just not enough when you actually do have enough. That's why I said it's all like awesome energy here at the top, but there's something. Couldn't quite put my finger on, but that's what it is. It's like a workaholic. Somebody that just is like, well, yeah, we got that, but there's always that feeling of, but what if this, but what if that? So always striving for more, better, bigger, whatever the case may be. We're using the Forest Tarot for the main spread. See what comes out for Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, January 2026. What do they need to know? Okay, two dropped. Yeah, Page of Cups and the Eight of Swords. And it's funny because the Page of Cups is the masculine energy. The Eight of Swords is the feminine energy. The yin and the yang are here together. But the Eight of Swords energy, the feminine energy, the yin energy, can't force him to stop. He has to do it on his own. But this is an apology for not spending enough time with the one he truly works so hard for to make sure. But there comes a point where if you can't be together and feel a sense of satisfaction and that you've done enough and that there's enough and what you have will be enough, then what's the point of anything? Which is the feeling I'm getting here. So we'll put those together because they came out together. Keep going. What else? Okay, it flipped and then hit itself in here. Just a second. That is, huh. Well, I know one split. Well, I'll keep shuffling because that'll be the easiest way to find it. Another one shows itself. I don't know, must have been seeing things. Nine of Cups. See? Wish fulfillment. Masculine sits alone saying, but I wanted this and I wanted to have that and I wanted to make sure that we had this amount of money in the bank and had, you know, um, 6 months worth of groceries in the freezer and it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And it's not that those are bad things, but there has to come a point where you can't work yourself where you're never there with the person that's now feeling mentally trapped because they feel like the relationship itself and what the person's working so hard for, they've lost sight of the other parts of life that matter just as much, if not more. Judgment. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Someone's judgment. When the boss comes up and says, do you want to do overtime tonight or do you do overtime this weekend? It's a question. It's not a demand. That's where you could say, I'm gonna pass this time. I'm gonna stay home with the family this weekend and, whatever. Play some board games, go to the movies, go out for dinner, whatever. I'm not gonna work that overtime because have been doing that for too long. And it's like an apology is owed here because at some point, this yin realized that the yang was working when they didn't really need to be anymore. There's enough. There is enough. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Just, I don't know, sitting there worrying about the next dollar, the next thing. Queen of Wands behind that. Um, I just feel with this, it's like the yang is being very tight with money also. So when they are maybe around, they're not going out for dinner. They're not spending the money outside the house and so I just feel like with this Eight of Swords in the yin part, the yin energy, it's taken its toll. Let's clarify with the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. Also a very gorgeous deck. For Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio, January 2026. Like what I'm hearing is this feminine energy might have rang the new year in by herself because the masculine was working somewhere where it is bustling on a night like that and wasn't home and maybe had the choice to be but decided to work and make the double time and half that kind of thing. Can't pass up that kind of money. Well, you can't get time back either. Can't get that New Year's back, that celebration, that holiday, that time together when maybe she was off of work and you could have spent the time together. Let's see. We'll clarify this together. The Eight of Swords and the Page of Cups. Please clarify. Knight of Swords. Um, Also explains the Eight of Swords. This would put it into a nine, which is a bit of a anxiety kind of in your head, worrying about it all the time. Because maybe if it's you, depending on switch it, but when the other one speaks up, when the yin speaks up to the yang saying, please don't work overtime tonight, there might be a little bit of backlash, a little, you know, a biting of the head off kind of thing. Nine of Cups, under the Nine of Cups, please, for the water signs. Oh, geez, I'm just sitting here thinking, geez, this is going on and on and on and on, and it's like kind of like the energy of this reading. Nine of Cups, please. Wow. World. I again with this Page of Cups, I really feel like it's going to change. Or there's something shifted just in the energy with the end, where the masculine understands that this wish fulfillment has got to have a boundaries, okay? Because there's other things that his attention is needed elsewhere. And that matters just as much as making sure that there's extra money there in case the bill's too high and like all the things. I think this energy is just working overtime constantly. And it's funny because you see the way this is, if you look, he's coming up like her back is turned and her head's up like she doesn't even know he's there because he's never there anymore. So maybe he came home early. Maybe there's just that moment, for whatever reason, he says no to the overtime, comes home a little unexpectedly early to surprise and say, I'm so sorry that I am never here anymore. And then I bit your head off when you asked me to, kind of thing, right? No judgment for you. Yeah, see, under judgment, the Three of Swords. I think you bit somebody got their head bit off and then left by themselves again. And it just maybe was what needed to happen in order to wake up the end to understand that he's off balance. Even though he's doing all the things, he's not doing all the things. He's not taking care of the complete other half of him, who is now just heartbroken. Bottom of this deck. Ooh, see, yeah. This goes along with this Page of Cups behind me and coming in. I love you and I'm so, so sorry. I like this. I mean, shit happens, right? But you can just feel the energy right from the beginning of this reading. The Fool's behind that, meaning that he's gonna take the chance of not being so addicted to just being at work, because when he feels like he's at work making money, making extra money, there'll be enough. Well, there'll be enough if you stay home and love your wife or your significant other, whatever it is, right? There'll be enough too, that because there is enough. There'll always be enough. People get addicted to that kind of thing, and it seems like a good thing until it's taken its toll at home, right? Let's get some advice on this with the Owl Tarot. Advice, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, January 2026. The bee spirit, sweet results await with dragon. Whoa, Wheel of Fortune, Wheel of Fortune. It's just it's those unexplained things that happen at the right time in the right way that shift things over and make things click in people where I strongly pick up with this masculine is he with this Knight of Swords is he I think absolutely adores his other half and really didn't like the response that he gave to somebody that like when you know how you leave and you think about it later. And I think he responded in a way that isn't even necessarily like him normally, but maybe he's overworked, tired, stressed, and it's uncalled for. I mean, I think it's been the problem, the issues. I'm not saying there wasn't issues, but I think they've been looked after and then some. I think it's now turned into an addiction to just work himself to death to make sure that there's enough, to make sure that they don't get to that near miss or scare again. But you know, it's that's what's turning around here anyway. Let's get one on this Knight of Swords, Four of Cups. Four of Cups, turning down an apology. Well, okay, maybe you're gonna have a little bit of work to do, whether it's you guys, the water signs, or this is your how you're feeling, and your person's gonna have a little bit of work to do to say I'm sorry. It's not just gonna be, oh, okay, because maybe they were quite harsh and very, very out of character, where it really, like with this Eight of Swords, I feel like it really threw the yin for a loop, because it's like that wasn't like I feel like she's wondering like what's happening? Is there something going on? Because he's not acting like himself. But I think he realizes that himself as well. So there might be a little bit of a push and pull to get that apology through, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what comes out with the world under the Nine of Cups. I really feel like that's the masculine changing his views on what he truly matters to him and what he really, what his real wish fulfillment is. I feel like that's shifting in a good way after whatever happened. Here it is again, Page of Cups again. It's here twice. So again, it might take a second effort, you know, something a little more elaborate and thought out, for her to know that, there is nothing really wrong. It's just a thought pattern that got out of control for the right reasons at the start, but it turned into an addiction basically. Um, Three of Swords under Judgment. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, there's just like I said, out in the cold, like the backdrop, iced out, lack. Because the masculine feels like there's just never enough money to live life. It's made the yin feel out, lacking out in the cold, and now it's going to shift to him because of an outburst where the universe kind of came in and stopped that wheel from moving, that motion, whether it was words from the yin, right, to the yang, where he lashed back. And that's the moment where she went into the Eight of Swords and he really had to come back with a hard apology. Okay, but there's like snow all on the ground here in this scene. I know it's a small card, but um, yeah, Judgment, heartbroken, out in the cold. The yang, the masculine, is working double time and a half to make sure that the feminine has all this, and she feels further away, out in the cold, and lacking than ever before. And I think that that is realized after this harshness with the Knight of Swords. Let's see what's at the bottom of this deck. High Priestess with the Queen of Wands again. So, guys, you could be dealing with a fire sign, okay? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So, if this is who is, like take it how it applies, switch it around to who's who if it applies at all. But again, the apology is sincere. Um, the wrong thing for the right reasons, the wrong motivation and drive too much, so that, this is the Archangel Animal Oracle, and we're closing this energy out, giving you a message to take away for your highest good. You got Turtle. Be joyful and trusting. So I said, like the whole overall energy is very strong. It's very good, but it damn near broke things, if you know what I mean. Like, so be joyful and trusting and give the feminine some time to come around to your apology. But I think it's all good. And guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you can take the time to hit the like button because it helps the channel and the algorithm by people showing that they watched it and they liked it. So it gets out to more people and the videos get some more views. That's the whole reason why you guys are down to elemental readings, but I hope that they're just as helpful and just as enjoyable. Subscribing, all that jazz is free. Okay. So take care of yourself till I see you again. Bye for now.